Welcome to Out of Bounds.
Hello again, everyone, and welcome to Out of Bounds. Casey Kendrick along with Tommy D. We have got no football for the Cowboys this week, except to look back at what happened in Lubbock, Texas. So we don't have a lot from Coach Gundy, although we do have some of the post-game comments from that Texas Tech trip. But we do have some fall baseball to talk about.
Great opportunity and well placed on an open weekend, at least for Oklahoma State fans. We'll have Josh Holliday on. We're going to cover this 14-inning scrimmage that's coming up Saturday at noon. I was looking at the advanced forecast, about 60, clear.
Beautiful.
Arkansas is coming in. I think Arkansas has been in the College World Series the last 2 years and is kind of an annual challenger for that. So it'll be a highly competitive scrimmage. We'll get the details from Josh and as to how they're going to do it and how the coach over there is going to kind of help put it together. But a really good opportunity to see not only the guys back, which we will talk about in the get-together with Josh, but also the new guys who kind of making a run at some starting spots.
Yeah, no, we'll find out about that. And I'm sure we'll talk, you guys will get into O'Brate a
Yes,
little
sir.
bit.
I mean, that's the question that everybody asks. And so we're going to go to the guy. And I think basically he's going to be honest with us and say, look, here's the deal that people don't take into consideration. This is not Josh speaking, but me. You know, you don't just on a Wednesday say, okay, O'Brate's ready, and on Wednesday night you got everything from Reynolds Stadium moved over there. There are stages of moving into the new stadium.
Sure.
Lots of equipment, lots of logistical things. So I'm guessing, Josh will set me straight on it, but I'm guessing he's going to say we're going to play some games at Reynolds Stadium before everything is 100% ready to go.
Find out more about that with Josh Holliday coming up in just a little bit. Fall softball going on. Cowgirls getting ready for another game on Tuesday as we speak, getting ready to take on the Arts and Sciences course division. A team that you go, oh, wow, that's going to be a killer game.
That's Chickasha, right?
I think that's right, but they're actually Division II, and they're actually
Are they
contenders
really?
in the College World Series.
Wow,
So
I didn't know that.
They're actually, because I was asking a dad yesterday who's got a young lady on the team, and I said, wow, is that going to be one of those 30-2? And he said, could be, but ultimately they're challengers in Division II every year. So I would think
Wow.
we've got a couple of pitchers that might actually, be able to participate and hold
It's great
it in
for
there.
them
So
to come play here.
absolutely it is. So we got softball. We got equestrian going on right now. The Cowgirls had the Equestrian Rider of the Month, which is fantastic. We got soccer going on. Cowgirls starting to mount up some more wins now in the conference, a draw as well, and getting ready for that season. They're kind of, they're probably on the back half of
How
their
crazy
conference
is that
season.
now?
Right?
I mean, football's halfway.
It is ridiculous. It happens every year, and we say that, can't wait. You look up, and it's over. It's like, how did that happen? No, I don't want to wait another 8 months for football. But
Start counting now.
yeah, I know. That's exactly right. Well, the Cowboys were down for the count, if you will, on Saturday, Tommy D. Team that didn't show up quickly enough. They woke up and got there at some point, but they were late arrivals to the game. And however you explain that, so be it. I mean, I don't have a clue as to why that happens. Maybe it's just the other team was better. Maybe the other team was more ready. However that happens, I don't know. But I think it was evident to all of us. One team was ready to play and the other one was not.
And, I'm going to steal a line from Gundy, and Gundy has said this forever. And I think it's become a cliche for some people who listen to him. But in this day and age, there's so much talent everywhere that if you don't come to the office ready to work, in this case, ready to play, and I don't mean physically, if you don't come mentally locked in and the other team does, I don't care what the odds makers say. I don't care what we all say. Well, there's no way that they're going to beat you. And that's what happened at Lubbock. Oklahoma State did not come to the game prepared to play mentally, were not focused, fumbled the ball away early, gave Tech a little bit of energy, got that crowd believing, hey, this might be our day, got 3 out of the fumble. They got 13 points off of 5 turnovers. I mean, this is just a bad day at the office. For one guy, yes, Spencer Sanders is the quarterback, and that's unfortunate, but you get a lot of credit when maybe you don't deserve it. You get a lot of blame maybe when you don't deserve it. Nature of the beast, but not a good effort at all. And this one here, really looked a lot like, and this is the disappointing part to me, looked a lot like about 3 games last year that, quote unquote, we were supposed to win, didn't show up, didn't play to that level, and lost the game. And we were led to believe, I mean, this year now, we've addressed that, and they're going to blah, blah, and it looked just like it did last year.
Yeah, I think if you weren't thinking about last year, this year should be somewhat palatable from a standpoint that you've got a new offensive coordinator, a new line coach, and a brand new quarterback. But the fact of the matter is, because we thought we had zoomed past any kind of potential problems with newness, but we haven't. I mean, this offense is I think we were duped, and I don't mean by anybody, by our own eyes. When you watch how well we played against Oregon State, you go, we're going to be an offensive juggernaut again. That's all there is to it. We are an offensive juggernaut. And then you look at McNeese State, and you look at Tulsa, and you look at Texas, and you look at Kansas State, and now Texas Tech. Man, it is amazing how many games you can start reeling off there. Wow. How many times did we get stopped and settled for field goals? How many times, you and I talk about this all the time, after you've gone about 5 or 6 games into the conference season of basketball and you're shooting 20% beyond the arc, at some point you go, okay, I thought we were going to be a good three-point shooting team, but we're not. At some point you are who you are. And offensively, Tom, this team is not saying they're not good. They're just not what we thought they were.
And I'm glad you brought that up because I truly believe that. When you're halfway through a season, that doesn't mean you can't reconstruct or take a different path, but after 6 games, that's a lot of quarters of football, right? And you played on the road 3 or 4 times, and you've done this and that. You are pretty much who you are. Against good teams, that's who you're going to be. So, from what I see, defenses are, and I don't mean this literally. Well, I guess I do literally. Defenses do not respect the arm of Spencer Sanders to beat them consistently. So what do? We're going to come after him. We're going to make him uncomfortable, make him do things on the run, make him look right, make him look left, make him think there's a blitz coming, get in his head. We're going to crowd the line of scrimmage, and we're going to try to keep, quote unquote, Hubbard from running for 900 yards. We'll keep him at 150, and maybe we can win that. We'll take our chances with Wallace occasionally. But they don't respect Sanders' defenses. Texas didn't, Tech didn't, that he's going to beat us with his arm. Now, you got to give some to get some. You know that in football. You can't cover everything. It's true in every sport. But so I see a trend that coaches and defensive coordinators, and I think this is going to be trickling on the rest of the year, our best chance is to get after Sanders, and we'll take our chances with the other 2.
Well, and I think, Tom, again, is it respect? Maybe that's exactly the right word. I think the other thing is when you game plan, and we've been around this a long time, when you hear coaches talk about game planning, what they want to do is they want to take away what you do well.
Correct.
Or they want to take away everything else. Okay, fine, we can't stop that. But you're not doing anything else, and what you do well is not good enough to beat us.
Right.
Well, obviously, again, whether it's respect or whether it is, okay, you got a good quarterback, and he's dangerous, but your running back is off the charts, and he can single-handedly kill us. We're going to let your quarterback do his thing because we think we can stop him on enough occasions to get off the field, but we're going to dedicate ourselves to stopping Chuba Hubbard. Now, teams have done that, and they haven't exactly stopped him, but they have kept him from moving the chains at a consistent level to get in the end zone, and that's why we keep seeing these field goal attempts instead of getting an opportunity to punch it in offensively. So I think if respect, or however you want to look at it, what I think other teams are definitely saying is we respect your running game, and we're going to do everything we can to slow that kid down.
Well, and what's worse for Sanders in this case is that he's not getting the play up front in the offensive line as far as protection in a passing situation. And not only that, the back standing next to him and not giving him consistent protection on guys that come free. Now, all of a sudden, Sanders is rendered a little bit less effective when he's running right, left, looking here, missing this guy because he's running for his life. So it works in tandem, if you will. But I think this is going to be until Sanders until the offensive line can protect better and handle the physicality of Big 12 defenses, until they can pick up blitzes, Sanders is going to have to deal with this every week. And I think that's the way to go. You're not going to keep Wallace from no perceptions. You're not going to keep Hubbard from, going over 100 yards. They're too good. But what you got to do, you got to keep Sanders in an area where he doesn't hurt you with his legs, and he may cough it up and give you the ball a couple of times.
Well, and I'm going to say this again. I said it on the radio a couple of times. I know that the guys they've had spying him are good athletes. They're
Jordan
quick.
Brooks, yeah.
He's a good athlete.
19 tackles, I'll tell you.
But he's not the only guy over the first 6 games that have really kind of been a spy on him. I have come to the conclusion, it doesn't mean it can't change, doesn't mean he won't start showing it in different ways. Spencer Sanders is a good straight-ahead runner with lots of speed. He doesn't make you miss. He's not going to make you miss in the phone booth. These guys are locking on. You've got guys coming from the defensive end position that are getting to him and pulling him down. He's not making guys miss running around like, go back to Fran Tarkenton to the old days. He's not doing that. He's not Kyler Murray. He is quick, he's strong, he's athletic, got a good arm. He's not as elusive as I thought he was going into the season.
Well, I think he's shown us on a couple of occasions when he did break the line of scrimmage and got out there in open space. He's kind of given a hip and taken it away and left a guy picking up the lingerie, as they would say. But overall, you're right. I mean, and I think he's going to have to start learning, which he will, that sometimes it's okay to throw the ball away instead of somebody forcing you left, just using it as an example. Tech did, and he didn't throw it away. He took a 6-yard loss, ran out of bounds. Well, sometimes if it's not there, toss it and let's go 2nd and 10, not 2nd and 16.
I'll further my point with this, and people go, really? I mean, think about it. He's running out and he's scrambling. He got that touchdown against Texas through 6 games, and I haven't gone back and looked at the tape entirely. But when you look at the 6 games, and going back to what I'm saying, getting caught by 7 sacks in one game, which again is not. Yes, there's jailbreaks. It's psycho defense. Fill the gap, get through there, but he's not avoiding much of that. And let's go back to what we talked about through the first 3 or 4 games specifically. Boy, he sure takes a lot of shots. He's not sidestepping, juking a guy, getting around him, and getting out of bounds. I don't think he's always trying to take the hit or wanting to deliver it. And there might have been some of that early to prove his toughness. But there were 3 or 4 times where they got to him and got a hat on him before he could even make a move. So again, not to say he's not the quarterback, have the upside and have the ability to be a great quarterback for Oklahoma State. I think it's all come to me, Tom, to go back to, I think you agree with me, we talked about it way early on. That quarterback race this summer was more real than I think a lot of people believe.
Yeah, there's more than just running a quick 40, okay? I mean, to be a quarterback, you got to understand what's going on. Mm-hmm. And I think the fact that Drew Brown, but he didn't get in the game. Incidentally, Josh Fields had tweeted out, I'm going to have Fields on Wednesday on Where Are They Now, and talk some about quarterbacks, But long story short, when you're not doing well, everybody's change. Well, I think what you saw was Brown had more savvy. He'd been in those situations before, so he made a rush there. The athleticism of Spencer took over, and that's why he got the nod. But in this league, this is not high school. I mean, you can run off and leave high school players. You can't run off and leave a lot of guys on this level, especially if they have game plan for you. So I'm going to say it works hand in hand, but until that offensive line becomes better pass blockers and can pick up blitzes and can handle the physicality of what's down the line, he's going to be running for his life all the time unless you can get balls out this way and that way to kind of stop that.
Well, and Tech, we did that against Tech over and over and over and over, but Tech defended it extremely well. You have to make teams pay for the way they play, and we never made Tech pay for the way the blitzes and all the guys in the box. We just didn't make them do it.
It's a disappointing loss. I mean, when you go back and look at this, now who knows? This might just be an unpleasant memory if we just run off, whatever it is, 6 more wins in a row.
Sure.
And that's not out of the question. But at the same time, some of these things during an open week have to be addressed and have to be corrected because Baylor coming in is just as physical up front as the 2 teams we play. Maybe not as much as Texas, but kind of in that area. Plus, they are athletic everywhere else as well. So it doesn't get it easy. If you're looking for an easy spot on the schedule, on paper, Tech might have been it, but it didn't turn out that way.
Post-game, Coach Gundy talked about taking the blame for this loss, and obviously this team was very flat up front.
He really was okay on the sideline. I just think they got a lot of pressure on us. And they had a good plan. They did a nice job coaching. Honestly, we got out-coached, and we got outplayed when it comes to the turnovers. And maybe I worked them too hard. I worked them really hard this week. I've worked them really hard the last 2 weeks. We're in week 9 of without a break, and I very well could have worked them too hard. It looked like we were a little bit flat up front on both sides of the ball. Maybe I worked them a little too hard. Regardless of if that's true or not, you're 5-0 in turnovers. I mean, you just really don't have a chance. And then we gave up a couple big plays, which we really hadn't done that on defense.
Well, and Coach also talked a little bit about the 5 interceptions, which we talked about. And he had to go back and look at the video before he knew whether or not that was the fault of the receivers, the pressure up front, or maybe the problem was his quarterback.
Beginning, was he sitting in the pocket and just had errant throws or bad reads, or was he pressured and it expedited everything and there was a contributing factor? I think we got to look at all that. Even if he is to blame, then he has to learn from mistakes and develop as a young player. And if he leans or relies or puts everything out there on games that we've already played, then, you know, that would make for short careers for quarterbacks, particularly young. So I'm hoping that he won't do that, and that's certainly the way that we would lead him.
Well, Tom, and I think, you know, when Coach does talk to the media after, you know, no media press conference this week, he will talk during after practices, but we'll get the media conference in another week. But I think he's going to look at it and go, some of them were his fault, some of them might have been the receiver's fault, and some of it, you know, he's just trying to make a play. So, but there were at least 2 of those, Tom, where not only was it double coverage, not only did the underneath cornerback have a play on the ball, the safety had a play on the ball. I mean, if one guy didn't get it, the other one was. And there was not good 50-50 balls. It was, if there was a 50-50 ball on a couple of those picks, it was as to which Texas Tech player was going to get it, not our receiver.
Now the third interception, I think, went off Stoner's hands, and and trying to make something out of nothing. Time's running out. You can almost accept that. You're trying to just get it going.
Sure.
The other 2, though, the one to Woods is a little disturbing in that, and I'll give Spencer Sanders a little credit here. I mean, if you're Jelani Woods, and you're as big as you are, I mean, you get a chance to see, you got a guy on your back who's defending you, but you got to also see the guy coming from off the hash. And if you see that, then you've heard it said a million times, you become a defender now. Mm-hmm. If you can't catch it, you got to make sure that nobody else catches it. Now, again, Sanders has to see that as well. Long story short, though, you and I both, though, we've been around football a long, long time, and I don't care what level it's on. Those stats don't always tell the story. Just because a guy throws an interception doesn't mean it's him. It might be a bad route. It might be one of these deals where somebody doesn't come back and knock the ball away and live to throw it again. Now, if you make bad decisions, you make bad decisions. But stop and think. If you're a quarterback on any level, how many decisions you got to make in one game, okay? That's a lot.
Well, especially when you figure the Cowboys ran how many plays?
Well,
70, no, 93 maybe, something like that?
On Saturday, they ran 93 plays.
93.
That's
yeah,
a lot of snaps, man.
It's a lot of time with the ball in your hand. That's exactly right. We got to get a break. Come back. Josh Holliday coming up next as we continue with Out of Bounds right after this.
Kent and Barbara Houck have been saying they're a one-stop shop for many years. In 1951, the Houck Agency began insuring Oklahomans and since has expanded to insure people in 11 states across the country. The Houck Agency can find the policy that fits your needs, from business health coverage, individual health, home, auto, and long-term health care policies. They have a staff that can take care of financial planning, including retirement and investing. And Barbara Houck has been a realtor for over 35 years, and her contacts helped her buy and sell homes and commercial properties across the state. One-stop shop, the Houck Agency, 801 South Main in Stillwater. Call statewide toll-free at 800-543-8588. The Houck Agency, when experience counts. The McCafe is now featuring cold brew coffee and cold brew frappes. Face the day with a cold brew coffee from the McCafe with a rich cold brew coffee blended with ice for a creamy frozen drink that's colder than cold brew. or refresh with a cold, creamy frappe. We start with a cold brew coffee, blended ice, and topped with whipped cream and rich chocolate drizzle for a great anytime frozen treat. McDonald's in Stillwater, Perkins, Perry, and Cushing. I'm loving it.
From pumpkins and parades to parties and performances, October is full of orange in America's friendliest college town.
What better way to see the beautiful Oklahoma State University campus in the city of Stillwater than by running 13.1 miles on Sunday, October 6th in the Stilly Half.
500 competitors come together at the Cowboy Stampede. Watch them rope, ride, and wrestle.
As the world turns orange.
We are so excited about the Harvest Carnival, walk around, and the Sea of Orange Parade.
Something you and I have done for a number of years on the radio.
With Broadway shows and internationally acclaimed symphonies, the McKnight Center for the Performing Arts at Oklahoma State University is a world-class facility opening this October.
Trick or treat with the downtown merchants, enjoy the carnival games, inflatables, and the costume contest at the annual Halloween Festival. Don't miss a beat in America's friendliest college town. Check out our full listing of events at visitstillwater.org.
Formal Fantasy in the heart of downtown Stillwater provides everything you need for your formal occasion. We have dresses, shoes, and jewelry to make you stand out on your special day. We offer tuxedo and suit rentals right here in Stillwater. Our staff of expert seamstresses will alter your clothing to fit perfectly, saving you from going from store to store to get everything you need for your event. From school dances to weddings, Formal Fantasy at 121 East 9th in downtown Stillwater is your formal store.
If you haven't been to TS Fork at White Barn Estates lately, we have an exciting new concept to tell you about. It's called Thirsty Thursdays, and it includes 4 courses of the same high-quality food as our other nights and some of the best mixed drinks you've ever had. Best of all, no reservations are required. And while you're there, relax with a drink on our covered patio and check out the gift shop with Made in Oklahoma products. Go to tsfork.com for more details and to check out our upcoming special menus.
Frontier Lanes is Stillwater's favorite family entertainment destination. Open 7 days a week, Ernie and the crew offers 16 lanes of bowling, but that's just where the fun begins. Knock down the pins to the sounds of your favorite tunes with our jukebox. The game room features pinball, pool, and exciting arcade games. And with a full snack bar, you can satisfy your thirst and get some of the best burgers and fries in town. Frontier Lanes near Airport Road at 3524 North Washington. Call 372-8584 and be sure to ask them about booking your child's next birthday party.
It's back. Stillwater High School football returns to TV 31. Be sure to catch every home game as the Pioneers look to return to the championship game. Stillwater High School football is brought to you by our friends at Tiger Drug. Also by Freddie Paul's Steakhouse. By Bank First. Also by Formal Fantasy. The Houck Agency for all of your insurance and real estate needs. By McDonald's. By Martin, Jean, and Jackson. Also brought to you by Harrison Electric, Legacy Oil and Gas, by Wendell Stevens Shelter Insurance, by Gigabytes, and by Charlie's Discount Drug. Catch Stillwater High School football on TV 31 Fridays, also streaming on TV31.net. Replays convene Saturday morning at 10 a.m. on Facebook as well. Catch it right here on TV 31.
Welcome back to the show, and as promised, joining us now, man, it's hard to believe, moving into his 8th season at the helm of the Oklahoma State baseball team, Josh Holliday. Good to have you here. Josh, a bunch of things to cover early on. What we wanted to do is get the message out. You know, if you kind of looking for some college baseball, you got it this weekend at Reynolds Stadium.
Yeah. Well, we when we scheduled the fall series, this first weekend was a natural fit with football being off. That what a great weekend to have Arkansas come to Stillwater and play a fall game. Hopefully our fans will hop outside and enjoy some good fall weather and get their first look at our team for 2020. And then obviously behind the Arkansas series later in the fall, we'll square off against Vanderbilt up in Kansas City, where we'll kind of culminate our fall, if you will, between the Arkansas game, then the following week with homecoming, where we'll scrimmage multiple times around homecoming, and then wrap with a trip to Kansas City to play Vanderbilt. The next 3 weeks are really important to our team as we kind of speed up the fall and try to just compete and see where the kids are at. They've done a really good job so far. But yeah, this Saturday, 12 o'clock noon, first pitch. It's free. Come on out and see our kids for the first time. Arkansas brings into town, if I'm not mistaken, back-to-back College World Series team. Very, very, very strong. Some of the best position players in the country. So we'll see a really good ball club come to town. About a month ago, Arkansas hosted OU in a similar fall scrimmage and drew about 7,000 fans for that fall scrimmage. So, yeah, fall baseball has a little bit of a place now that it didn't used to have, and we're looking forward to getting at least one more fall scrimmage at Alley P to keep moving this team along.
Take us behind the curtain on this, if you will. Are more teams doing this now? Did you have the luxury to do it?
Yeah, so 2 years ago, the NCAA decided that they would pass a new rule allowing you to play 2 fall games that would not count against your spring allotment of contests. So in the spring, you used to be able to play 56, but if you played in the fall, it would reduce the number of games you could play.
Okay.
Well, now with the new rule, you're allowed the 2 games in the fall, and then still can play 56 in the spring. So last year, we took our team to Nashville and played Vanderbilt both contests. So we made a trip there where we played a Saturday game and a Sunday game. This year we'll spread out our games over 2 different dates, this Saturday with Arkansas and then 2 weeks later against Vanderbilt. So our goal with the fall contest is to try to see where we're at, create an awareness level amongst our team about what we need to work on in the months of November, December, and January. And at the same time, have fun. Enjoy the first chance to compete in a uniform with Oklahoma State across the chest as this particular team, because last year's group, those guys are gone, and the guys that return, they're blending together and molding into a new unit with the guys that are new. So we want to get out there and compete together first a couple of times in the fall, so we can kind of identify who our leaders are and who's going to be the guy that can step up when the team needs a swing of the bat or make a great play. So you're starting the process of building your team earlier now than ever, and I like that. I think we needed something to kind of spark that movement. And if you look at, I think basketball for years has had exhibition games and some close practices. So I think basketball has had a head start of doing this thing the right way, of getting a team ready to compete, and I think baseball is now following that model.
Any uniqueness to the 14-inning format?
Well, I'm going to talk to Coach Van Horn hopefully today and just see if he has a preference of how he would like to structure the innings. Probably won't exceed 14 innings, but we might try to creatively create a couple of different units, if you will, to where you can get one starting lineup in and let them make a run through the game, and then switch and get a secondary lineup in there where you can see some guys at different positions. You're going to try to get some guys involved. But it's not this is not a scrimmage where everyone just plays. This is a scrimmage where the guys that have played well to this point will get the first opportunity to go out there. They've earned it, and the guys that provide the depth and are in the mix to compete for playing time will get their looks as well. It's just part of the competition piece, and off of that, there'll be some guys that'll say, hey, I'm going to have to work a little harder on certain areas of my game if I want to get into the mix. But, we played a very unique structure last year in Nashville where each inning had a different set of points, and we played kind of a quarter system, if you will, much like maybe like a basketball team would, where every quarter there was a different score. So I don't know what to see, but if we do alter the traditional scoring system, we'll make sure the fans who are there watching know kind of what the nature of the game is.
I say it's a new staff. It's not. I mean, obviously you're aware of your brother, and you've been aware of Marty Leeds because he's coming back. But you have a couple of new people along with you and Rob. Everything working well there?
Yeah, we have a really good dynamic staff-wise. Obviously, Rob's back in his 8th year and has been with me since basically day 3, I think, on the job.
Yeah, that's right.
I was hired on a Friday and was fortunate to get Rob and Michelle and the Walton family to join the staff that Sunday. So 8th year here together. Marty Lees comes back after 4 years as a head coach at Washington State. It's great to have Marty and Christy and their boys back at Oklahoma State. Matt joins the staff this year as a hitting coach. He's done a great job of mentoring our kids and brings a very unique dynamic to our staff. Obviously, people are aware of what he did as a player, but what people don't know is just the kind of the knowledge and playfulness with which he goes about things. Our players really enjoy him. He has great knowledge and great insight, but he also has a great delivery. And he's definitely got a different outlook on this, because I think he sees these kids as such an opportunity to give back to baseball and help young guys with the things he's learned. So he gives us a great, fresh look on the art of coaching to go along with some of the things that we know on the college campuses we have to get installed in the fall, and that's just the discipline and the lifestyle of going to class and being a college student, and then the chance to come to the field at 1 o'clock each day and learn. So those guys, Rob, Marty, Matt, myself, collectively working with the kids, we've got a very good coverage in terms of our position coaching and strong background and knowledge about the things we're trying to do. So the office staff is strong. We've got a good collection of guys that really love Oklahoma State and love the direction that we're trying to go and what we're trying to do.
I've had this asked of me several times. I think I know the answer, but you never know in this day and age. We find out this weekend. But I'm assuming Marty's a third base coach. Matt goes to the first base. Somebody said, "Well, is Holiday going to?" I said, "I think Josh's going to stay in the dugout here."
Yeah, we hadn't really talked a whole lot about that yet, just because the season, the competitive season, is still on the horizon. But we probably, for this first go around, have Marty at third and Matt at first. Obviously, Marty's an experienced third base coach, and that's something that he's very good at. So he'll be the third base coach. Whether Matt chooses to coach from the dugout or first base, we'll work through that. I would say going in, maybe coaching first base. One of the things that Matt did exceptionally well when he played was run the bases. He was a sneaky base stealer and a very accomplished base runner. But we'll see. Sometimes figuring out where to hand off information to hitters and get them ready for their at-bats, the dugout can be an effective spot. But, yeah, this will be our first dress rehearsal as a staff as well, as far as just the mechanics of how you're going to coach a competitive game. But one thing's for sure, we'll have people in the right spots. The knowledge base will be covered. And, one of the things we've taken great pride in is preparation, getting our guys ready. Even though it's a fall scrimmage, the information and just lining our kids up in the right spots to play good defense fundamentally, and knowing what our opponents are going to do. Arkansas has a lot of good players back, so we'll have some information about what makes those kids such good players and how we'll try to prepare. But yeah, it'll be fun. It's always interesting when you go into a new season, how the moving parts settle in and what's the right spot for everything to kind of rest in place, where the flow of the team and the operation is sound. So yeah, this Saturday will give us our first dress rehearsal as a staff as well.
Before we get out of this segment, we don't want you to retire, but I would imagine if every time you were asked this, you had $1, you might be able to take a nice trip with the family. O'Brate, any closer to coming to a conclusion? Are we going to actually open first game in O'Brate, or do you know yet?
Well, it's definitely going to be open in 2020. There's no doubt about that. They've made great progress. The construction phases are moving along nicely. The field itself is in place. The grass looks wonderful. They'll start to oversee that surface and develop the spring playing surface, I believe, this week. So I think everything's on schedule. The actual date in which we'll open and all those things, I think, will have a little bit to do with just in-house how we feel like getting the facility transitioned.
Right.
Handing off from Manhattan Construction, who've done an awesome job on this project, to Oklahoma State Athletics, and then from Oklahoma State Athletics, how we can get up and running from an operations standpoint and when we'll be ready to conduct business. So I'd say there's probably a good chance there'll be some early season baseball at Allie P. Reynolds Stadium, and that's not a bad thing in any way, shape, or form. And then when we've gotten completely prepared at whatever date that is, I think that announcement's coming soon, then we'll be able to mark our calendars for a grand opening of O'Brate Stadium, and I promise you it'll be worth the wait. It's been pretty fascinating to watch it go up from basically, just a great big piece of land over there, kind of an open canvas when they started this process, and now here we are headed towards the finish line. So our fans are in for a real treat. We all are. All of us that will get to walk in that building each day will be honored.
I tell you, you get teased watching the video on the website, and you just can't wait for that day. But hey, let's make sure the date is taken care of when we get over there. Now I know you're out there saying, talk people, talk players. Ask Josh that. We're going to do that after this.
Harrison Electric in downtown Stillwater can handle any commercial or residential job with expertise. But don't take my word for it. These are actual Google customer reviews for Harrison Electric. When they make an appointment, they show up on time. Very professional employees who respect the client. They clean up after themselves and did an awesome job. Talked us through the plans with us and came up with the most economical plan for us. Very easy to work with on changes that came up. Highly recommend. So there you have it. The public has spoken. Call Harrison Electric at 372-7171 and see what everyone is talking about.
The McCafe is now featuring cold brew coffee and cold brew frappes. Face the day with a cold brew coffee from the McCafe with a rich cold brew coffee blended with ice for a creamy frozen drink that's colder than cold brew. Or refresh with a cold creamy frappe. We start with a cold brew coffee, blended ice, and topped with whipped cream and rich chocolate drizzle for a great anytime frozen treat. McDonald's in Stillwater, Perkins, Perry, and Cushing. I'm loving it.
To our neighbors and friends, we come to you today to let you know what's on our hearts. Because you're the reason what we do is so much more meaningful than a job. The reason we believe in the power of investing in tomorrow and the power of community. So this is simply thank you. As we step boldly into a time of growth and change, consider this our promise that every investment in our hospital is an investment in our communities.
The Hideaway since 1957. The Hideaway is famous for a lot of things, including their off-the-charts fried mushrooms, incredible service, unbeatable lunch specials, and, of course, the one-of-a-kind pizza. Stillwater's pizza tradition begins and ends here, from the big country to the pizza of the gods. And even the sizes are famous, from the mini personal to the big kahuna. Like us on Facebook for unique offers, lunch or dinner, dine-in, pickup, or delivery. The Hideaway, 230 South Mount Block, or call 372-4777. More than a restaurant, it's a tradition.
Charlie's Discount Drug, where we know our customers by name. Oh, yeah. Charlie's Discount Drug.
Hard work, dedication, tradition, and proven results. That's Pioneer Football, and that's the law firm of Martin, Jean, and Jackson. That commitment to excellence has served the Pioneers for years, and it's done the same for Martin, Jean, and Jackson with over 100 years of combined experience in injury law. Martin, Jean, and Jackson has offices in Stillwater, Ponca City, Tulsa, and our new location in Oklahoma City. Our Stillwater office is conveniently located at 400 South Duck Street. Stop by our location or call us at 405-377-5000. Teams always strive to be their very best. That's the Pioneers, and that's Martin, Jean, and Jackson, attorneys at law.
Well, we're back with Josh Holliday. We kind of set the table for you in the first segment. Now let's get down to the nuts and bolts. You know me, when we start these conversations, I'm more about the core guys coming back, guys who were there, guys who were 6 outs away from going back to the College World Series last year. Who are you relying upon in that group?
Well, there's a good base of players back that will definitely give our team identity to work from. Probably start at first base with Alex Garcia, who I thought played exceptionally well down the stretch last year. Became a very clutch hitter, really grew as a first baseman. He's got a great attitude and great energy about him. I think he has a chance to be an excellent senior and have a big year. So Alex at first base is pretty much a no-brainer. He's a definite guy that you can see having a big year and being a cornerstone player. As you work your way around the infield, it's going to be a little bit of a new look on the infield. Dylan Gardner's having a great fall at second base. Feel really good about Dylan and the work he's put in. He was off to a good start last year before breaking his wrist, and unfortunately that cost him a good majority of the season. But he's doing a lot of things very well, running the bases, hitting the ball, bunting the ball, playing good defense. He's a great worker. good toughness on display every day out of Dylan. So I think Dylan's doing a nice job at second. We have a number of guys working at second, but I think right now Dylan, if the season started tomorrow, Dylan would probably be in there at second base. We slide Huey Morrell from second base over to shortstop. Houston was a great freshman player at second last year.
What a great year he had.
He did. Played awfully good. Learning shortstop's a new challenge. It's a different position. There's some angles and lengths to throws that he's still mastering, but he'll get there. Third base, I'd say right now we've got a couple of really good options there. Caden Polkovich is a transfer who's a very offensive player who had a great summer up in Cape Cod. He's going to be a huge part of our offensive look, and he works both at second, third, and could even play center field. So Caden's going to be in the lineup, probably hitting in the 3-hole, and defensively is getting a strong look at multiple positions. But between Caden Polkovich, Jake Thompson, a transfer, who won a batting title this summer in the Northwoods League, and Blake Robertson, a freshman that we really like and feel like has a crazy high ceiling. Those three guys working a lot at third. Max Hewitt is a good utility guy in the middle who's also spending time learning the art of catching this fall. He gives us some depth there. So the infield has a lot of options, a lot of guys that can do some different things for us. A lot of moving parts there, but we'll give some guys looks and run some guys through there to kind of see. A couple of freshmen have done a nice job so far in camp. Braley Hollins has played well at multiple positions on the infield. So there's some good newcomers there that are going to give us the depth on the infield and give us that look we need. Across the outfield, two of those cornerstone players that you mentioned would be Carson McCusker and Cade Cavanis, both seniors, great defensive outfielders.
Mm-hmm.
Carson really had a great year offensively last year, played really well down the stretch, and Cade continues to work at this thing on the offensive side. I think it's a matter of time. He's really starting to put his swing together, but those two kids on the corner outfield give us really good experience and strength and size, all the different things you want to have on a corner outfield.
Physical players.
Very physical players. So those guys have done a really good job. Probably the kid that's played, two players that have played the best this fall are Noah Seifert and Caden Trinkle. Those two kids have had great falls. Noah in particular has played exceptionally well as a junior. He's stronger, more confident, really like what he's been doing. And Caden Trinkle, as a true freshman, has played as good as you could play in your first fall on a Division I campus. He's handled himself with great maturity. Left-hand hitting outfielder, played really good defense, a lot of base hits, some power, and really has a mature, poised approach to the game. So,
both those guys, good gap-to-gappers?
Yeah, guys that can run, hit the ball hard, doubles, triples, occasional homers, and good foot speed. So, on the position player side, there's a good nucleus there. The catching position, obviously, will be brand new for us with Colin and Bryce graduating. But Brock Mathis, a transfer from LSU, who has immediate eligibility right now, is playing very well. He'll catch along with Josh Spiegel. Those two guys right now are with the 1 and the 2. Pitching staff-wise, I think when you look at building on the guys from a year ago, having Parker Scott back and healthy, I think he's primed for a great season. He pitched some really good games last year down the stretch for us. Mitchell Stone, I think, is ready for a breakout year. Talented lefty. Brett Stanley, who pitched some very good baseball for us down the stretch as well. He's back and in great shape, ready to go. Ben Leeper returns as a senior. He had a lot of touches in the bullpen late, saved a number of games. Kids like C.J. Varela, who has pitched some good stretches in his time. It's time for him to have his best year. So you can go up and down the line. There's some familiar names and faces. And then, probably looking at just getting the whole pitching staff up and running healthy is the biggest goal for us between now and opening day. We've got some guys coming back off of some small injuries. But there's a good core there on the mound. I hate to leave anyone out. I don't have the roster in front of me. But, when you look back and say, okay, guys that touched the ball last year and pitched in key roles, there's some good guys coming back. Now, we'll have to offset the loss of Jensen Elliott. And you look at some of the big innings that Joe Lenhart pitched, and you look at some of the big innings that kids like Jake Lyons and Logan Gregg. Let's see, I think we had 5 or 6 guys get drafted last year off that pitching staff. So there'll be some big shoes to fill. But as you look at what we have, there's good talent. There's really good freshmen in the program, and we're looking forward to watching those young arms go.
I like seeing this time of year because you guys are very good at kind of integrating the new and the old, and that's the whole idea. I hear you all the time say that, we're trying to get this mix together every year. Like, this is your 8th year. Just as challenging every year?
Oh, yeah. I mean, challenging in a good way, though. We can only grow together and mature as fast as each day allows it to happen. So you can't accelerate a process that has to be real. You have to just get there each day, have positive days together, learn. The kids get to know each other, talk about the things you want your group to value, stress the things that you think are important, and then not let a day slip through the crack that you don't maximize your purpose. And we identified as a staff, I had each staff member say, what are the top 10 things that have to happen this year for us to have a great season? And it was amazing how many times the same thing overlapped, but it was also amazing to see different perspectives and different things come to the table. So we've taken that priority list of things that we think as a staff are big, and we've tried to make sure we don't miss a day to touch on those things. And so we're working hard at bringing the kids together from the standpoint of understanding baseball at this level, developing their skills in this 6-week period that we're allowed to practice as a team, of which we're halfway through that now, so 3 weeks to go. And really, hopefully the kids are having those opportunities away from the field to connect and let their chemistry, relationships, and ultimately their I would say, identities amongst each other start to form. So you can't speed it up, really, but you can certainly make sure you're working at it. And I think all the great teams, they do. They put the value in the chemistry, and they spend time working on that. And we do that each day as much as time allows.
Before we let you go, you like your schedule the way it sets up, and kind of a quick peek at what the Big 12, another gauntlet, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, Big 12 is very strong. Excuse me. I think if you look at the teams that return strong players and strong winning vibe, I think Texas Tech's winning vibe is strong. I think TCU has a strong roster. University of Texas will come back motivated after last year. OU has a tremendous pitching staff. They too will be highly motivated after not making a regional last year. So you look at some teams with really good talent that have motivations, or teams that have really good talent that are coming off big years where the momentum's strong. West Virginia had an all-time year last year. I think they're somewhat probably re-identifying their roster in some fashion, but there's just a lot of good programs. There's a lot of good players. There's a lot of good teams. I think, every weekend has been challenging. Will continue to be that way. The non-conference games are tough. Oregon State comes to Stillwater to return the trip that we took last year. Let's see, Fresno State, BYU, two really good teams from the West Coast are very good. We have a very challenging tournament where we'll play UCLA, Texas A&M, and Illinois, as well as a trip to Arizona to open the season out there against Grand Canyon and Arizona State. So I think last year we finished with the number 2 strength of schedule in the country, which is maybe the highest Oklahoma State's ever had, and a very similar structured schedule again this year. So we've tried to play really good teams. Obviously, your opponents have a lot to do with that. When they go out and have great seasons, it solidifies the schedule you put together. But we haven't really shied away from anything. We haven't tried to build a big early season record. We've gone and taken our lumps a time or two in the process of learning and playing high-level baseball, and then the return on that has been better baseball at the end. And being able to go on the road last year against Oregon State and sweeping them was a pivotal turning point in our season. And I think when you look at that, you say, well, you're only able to do that if you've exposed your team to some of those early season challenges. So, we'll keep playing good opponents. We'll keep going on the road. We'll keep striving to build a resume that come end of the year when you're sitting there hoping to hear your name called to play postseason baseball. When the NCAA looks at your resume, they see that you were very motivated and that you did not take weekends off and try to schedule lower caliber opponents and just guarantee yourself wins, but rather play high-level opponents. And, the Wright State Series last year, looking back, they went off and won 45 some odd games. So even our non-conference weekends against teams that maybe don't sound like the Yankees or Red Sox, those teams that we played are very good teams that are winning. So good schedule, exciting year with all the new opportunities to, kind of usher in a brand new home for Cowboy baseball. And the memories and moments of both the past, which have been so fantastic, and the current and future are exciting.
Last thing, again, you always encourage fans to come out and watch you during the fall, and you got a great opportunity at noon this Saturday as you're watching this, a 14-inning get-together with Arkansas. Now, I can't remember many of these things happened in the past. This would be a good afternoon.
Well, hopefully so. Again, with no Cowboy football to keep your eye on, get out of the house and come watch us play, come get a chunk of baseball in the afternoon, and then there's still plenty of your day left to go enjoy a Saturday. But we hope you'll come out and show our kids the interest level is high, and there's some exciting kids to watch play. And I think that when you trace the steps last fall at this time of year, playing an outside opponent was a great challenge, and then that team obviously grew over time. So this will be a chance for our kids to play in front of fans, which helps start the process and then ultimately give us a place to move forward from. So come see us play, get out there, take a look at Alley P, see a great opponent. University of Arkansas has, from what I've been told, 3 or 4 All-American type players on their roster. So it should be great baseball, and again, Saturday afternoon, no college football, at least Oklahoma State college football. People will be probably a little bit bored.
Hey, Josh, as always, I appreciate your time.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, and yes, we'll keep reminding you throughout the week just about that noon get-together at Reynolds Stadium against Arkansas. We're going to talk about a lot more when Casey returns after this.
Do you take multiple routine prescriptions for medical conditions such as high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes, COPD, asthma, or arthritis? Are you tired of making multiple trips to the pharmacy each month to pick up refills of all your medications? Tiger Drug has a new, easy, convenient, and free synchronized refill program for you. We will work with your insurance so that your meds will all be available on your refill date so that there will be no waiting. Call one of our friendly staff members and ask how you can join the Synchronized Refill Program at 405-372-7900 or stop by at 825 South Walnut. And be sure to ask about our vaccination program. Tiger Drug in Stillwater, where the customer comes first.
Freddie Paul's Steakhouse in Bryan invites you to experience this Stillwater staple. Established in 2001 and armed with the best steaks in town, daily lunch buffet, and catering available, there is something for even your pickiest of family members. Homemade with love, they combine family recipes, a professional chef, and a dedicated staff to bring you a fantastic dining experience. Looking for something new to do with the family? Come check out Sky Golf Driving Range and take a few swings while enjoying full food and drink service. Freddie Paul's Steakhouse, where they believe you should always enjoy the exceptional flavor of what you're eating.
To our neighbors and friends, as we step boldly into a time of growth, our promise is that every investment in our hospital is an investment in our communities. Thank you for being the reason we love what we do.
Where do you go for computer help? Gigabytes. Gigabyte staff are experts in virus removal, software updates, and faster running computers. Gigabytes also provides small business support and network support, including websites. And they do laptop screen replacements, and they do all kinds of cosmetic repairs as well. Whatever your computer needs, they are the ones that can provide you with the answers and solutions to get you up and running. Gigabytes, 918 South Main, open Monday through Friday, 10 to 6, or call 533-1715.
Life beyond the gravitational pull of the city requires a can-do attitude. It takes versatility to accomplish all that needs to be done, and enough power to never get in over your head. The Kubota L-Series tractor pulls up its bootstraps, hooks up to its many attachments, and gets the job done right. That's why it's the #1 selling compact tractor in America.
Kent and Barbara Houck have been saying they're a one-stop shop for many years. In 1951, the Houck Agency began insuring Oklahomans and since has expanded to insure people in 11 states across the country. The Houck Agency can find the policy that fits your needs, from business health coverage, individual health, home, auto, and long-term health care policies. They have a staff that can take care of financial planning, including retirement and investing. And Barbara Houck has been a realtor for over 35 years, and her contacts helped her buy and sell homes and commercial properties across the state. One-stop shop, the Houck Agency, 801 South Main in Stillwater. Call statewide toll-free at 800-543-8588. The Houck Agency, when experience counts.
Well, good stuff with Coach Holiday, and consensus, we will be in Alley P to begin, right?
I believe that is, and when the head man says that's the case, you tend to agree that's what's going to go on. And it has to do with a lot of things. I mean, they want to make sure that O'Brate is functional, ready to go when they make the move. And it'll be a big to-do, and there'll be, I don't know who the opponent will be, but it'll be somebody we can get all excited about. But as we mentioned in I think off the air, but you know, there's a lot of things that go into making a move from one site to the other. You can't decide that, all right, we're going to play Tuesday in Reynolds and we're going to play Wednesday in O'Brate. There's a lot of logistical things that take place moving from one site to the other. So it's not a bad thing. I mean, obviously, and we'll get into this conversation. We do with Texas all the time, but Reynolds has been good to this program, and Reynolds has been good of late with Josh here. I mean, when you stop and think, we went to the World Series in 2016. That was a magical season. We came within 6 outs of going last year to the College World Series. That would have been 2 in the last 4 with Reynolds, with the people we recruited. So, you know, it always comes down to bring people in, but you got to coach them and develop them. Will O'Brate help? Certainly. It'll be a step up. But, you know, it's the Texas thing, you know.
Doesn't mean anything if you don't use it
buildings
right.
being success, I don't know.
Well, but you and I both agree. Number one, that building means nothing in and of itself, but it is a tool.
Yes, sir.
And if used correctly, can really make your job easier.
And it always comes down to coaching. I don't care who you bring in.
Absolutely.
You got to develop them.
Take a break. Wrap it up right after this.
Frontier Lanes is Stillwater's favorite family entertainment destination. Open 7 days a week, Ernie and the crew offers 16 lanes of bowling, but that's just where the fun begins. Knock down the pins to the sounds of your favorite tunes with our jukebox. The game room features pinball, pool, and exciting arcade games. And with a full snack bar, you can satisfy your thirst and get some of the best burgers and fries in town. Frontier Lanes near Airport Road at 3524 North Washington. Call 372-8584 and be sure to ask them about booking your child's next birthday party.
Charlie's Discount Drug, where we know our customers by name. Oh, yeah. Charlie's Discount Drug.
The McCafe is now featuring cold brew coffee and cold brew frappes. Face the day with a cold brew coffee from the McCafe with a rich cold brew coffee blended with ice for a creamy frozen drink that's colder than cold brew. Or refresh with a cold creamy frappe. We start with a cold brew coffee, blended ice, and topped with whipped cream and rich chocolate drizzle for a great anytime frozen treat. McDonald's in Stillwater, Perkins, Perry, and Cushing. I'm loving it.
If you haven't been to TS Fork at White Barn Estates lately, we have an exciting new concept to tell you about. It's called Thirsty Thursdays, and it includes 4 courses of the same high-quality food as our other nights, and some of the best mixed drinks you've ever had. Best of all, no reservations are required. And while you're there, relax with a drink on our covered patio and check out the gift shop with Made in Oklahoma products. Go to tsfork.com for more details and to check out our upcoming special menus.
It's back. Stillwater High School football returns to TV 31. Be sure to catch every home game as the Pioneers look to return to the championship game. Stillwater High School football is brought to you by our friends at Tiger Drug. Also by Freddie Paul's Steakhouse. By Bank First. Also by Formal Fantasy. The Houck Agency for all of your insurance and real estate needs. By McDonald's. by Martin, Gene, and Jackson. Also brought to you by Harrison Electric, Legacy Oil and Gas, by Wendell Stevens Shelter Insurance, by Gigabytes, and by Charlie's Discount Drug. Catch Stillwater High School football on TV 31 Fridays, also streaming on TV31.net. Replays convene Saturday morning at 10 a.m. on Facebook as well. Catch it right here on TV 31. Well, we are about to say goodbye, but we've got a couple of things. One, breaking news, and it's coming in the term of a nugget.
It's a little nugget, and you're going to read about this in a day or two.
Okay.
I don't know what the title is going to be, but Barry Hinson has returned to Stillwater. And anybody who's watching this, old timers, he taught my daughter when he was at Stillwater High School. He coached there at JV, went to several other schools. I think he went to Edmond Memorial. But when he got out of the high school ranks, he went to Missouri State, was very successful there. Steve and I talk about this all the time. Really
Most wins by any
never
coach
got,
not to get
talk
in the
about messed
NCAA
over.
tournament. Yeah.
Gee, many Christmas. Then he went to Southern Illinois where he retired, but he's retired now. He'll be in I don't know what the role, he's not a full-time coach where he can't be out of the floor coaching unless somebody comes and goes between now and then. So he can coach the coaches. He can certainly be with Boynton and give him his analysis every day. And he may very well be in the external affairs, donors, booster clubs, speeches. He might very well do that. But good to see Barry back. I've known him since he was a teacher here, still at a high school, and he brings a lot of experience.
We've had a lot of coaches go on to good things after leaving Stillwater. That's
There's
good
your
stuff.
nugget.
Yeah, no, that's a good nugget. That's good. That is breaking news. And lastly, what's happening on the jukebox?
This week, we're just going to kick back. We're going to have, it's an open week for football. It's going to be kind of a kickback. I'm going to go down.
An hour of handholder half hour?
No, we're not doing that. But we're going to go down and pick all the records up from the vault, and it's going to be literally whatever I pick here, this is what's going to be played. What you call in, that'll be played. It's kind of a loose theme.
I like it. It's a hodgepodge.
Yes, it
Check
is.
it up.
That's good.
Yeah, hodgepodge. Hodgepodge weekend this Sunday.
Say, I like that. Would you cut that promo for me while you're at it?
Hey, that's going to wrap things up for us. Appreciate Josh Holland being here. Appreciate Tommy D. Appreciate you guys. And I will see you back here next time, right here on Out of Bounds.